Hello boys and girls, Brad the Guitarologist here. I was with my wife at Goodwill the other day and I ran into this thing. It was in one of their little cabinets and they had $49 on it. But cute little box, and I was curious about it. I said, what is that? And the guy said, oh, it's a little sewing machine. Today's video is sponsored by Native Sons Goods, makers of the highest quality woven guitar, bag, and camera straps you'll ever see. Native Sons straps are handmade one at a time in the USA with unparalleled love and care. Click the link in the description to check out their new expanded lineup featuring all new 3-inch guitar straps. And remember, when you support my sponsor, you support this channel, and I sure appreciate it. And my wife sews, so I thought, what the hey, let me take a look at that. So he took it out, and I noticed it had this little sticker on it. I didn't get to read it at the time, but it says Gibraltar Manufacturing Company Incorporated, New Jersey City, New Jersey. Sewing machine model number 707. Made in the USA. Yada yada yada. Underwriters Laboratories. Seal of approval. I did not know this, but my wife said, I think she said it was a chain. Did she say chain stitch? I don't know. Whichever stitch it is that uses only one bobbin or one spool of thread, whatever. It does. In other words, it doesn't have a bottom bobbin. So he took it out. I looked it over, realized that the cord was completely shredded. I showed it to him. I said, you're asking $50 for it in this condition? I said, can you do any better than that? And usually on, stuff at Goodwills, the people are like, we got to ask a manager for one. That's one of the possible responses. Two is, no, it's sold as is or whatever. Or if it's been here long enough, we might discount it later on, but we don't do that. It's usually the response at Goodwills nowadays. But I asked him anyway. I was like, I said, can you do any better considering that right there? And he was like, I'll take half off for $25. And I kind of stared at it for a second and kind of hummed and hawed. And I was like, would you take 20? And I think I phrased it exactly like that in exactly that tone of voice. And he was like, yeah, sure. So yeah, we're going to see if we can replace this power cable for my wife and see if this thing will work. This is actually a child's sewing machine, but just really cool. I mean, it's all metal, and they just don't make anything like this as far as toys, for children. They don't make anything like this of this quality anymore. But I just thought it was the cutest little thing. Had to snatch it up for 20 bucks, and we'll see if we can't get it going. So let's go ahead and fire up the soldering iron. And it looks like we're missing a screw here. We've got one here, and we have 2 more over here, so let's 4 more. I didn't notice this before, but there's another model number printed right there. You can barely see it. Model number 707. Betsy Ross. It's stamped on the front right there. Betsy Ross, if you guys don't know, if you're outside the United States, she's famous for making the first United States flag. This thing is just really cool. I don't know what this lever is meant to do, but there's a lever right there. We definitely want to make sure that the motor's free, and it is free. It's your standard AC motor. There's nothing to it. We just got a motor. We've got a switch. We're missing a belt. So we'll have to find a belt for this as well. So we might not get this running right away. I might also be able to makeshift, a belt using maybe a couple of rubber bands or something like that. Just to get it going to see if it works. And the way that this feels, it feels to me like it's going to need some oil. I can see that something turns down here whenever you turn this, the mechanism. Okay, so I'll show you. So when you move it, you see that little hook thing? So it must it grabs the thread and pulls it down into a circle. Feels just a little bit hard to turn by hand. All this right here, this shaft is probably going to need to be oiled. Man, I mean, this is like fairly sophisticated for a toy. I mean, look at that. You've got the little foot lift lever. And yes, we do have screws to take it apart. So I will definitely take this apart and oil it as well. So that'll give us a It'll give us a look at the innards. Well, first things first, we know we're going to need to replace this cord, so let's go ahead and do that. We just got a couple of wire nuts here. That's just the bare transformer wire right there. The hot comes in, goes to the switch, and it goes in series with the motor and then back out through this. Very simple. And the good news is I have a ton of 2-prong power cords from old equipment. I save all these things. When I pull them off of old tube amps and stuff, I usually save them. So I've got a bunch of them. Let's see, I got some wire nuts too, somewhere. But do you know what? Cut off a little bit of the excess. That's a bit of a cleaner look anyway. I mean, once you shrink tube it down, it's more secure, it's cleaner. I don't like going direct to transformer wires like that. It'd be nice to have like a terminal strip right there, but I don't know, would it clear? I'm just wondering if it would clear. Yeah, surely it would clear. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to loosen that nut right there, and I'm going to put a terminal strip, and we'll solder those both to the terminal strip instead. I just think that'll be safer personally. It should just keep this from popping loose and flopping around and getting in, you know, because that string, I don't trust that single wire to really hold. So if this does break, this would break loose, but this would still be okay. So I don't know. It just seems to me that a terminal strip would make more sense. Definitely don't want to strip that, and I don't think I have. But yeah, I think that's way better than the alternative. All right. Now I can just tie a little knot right here so it doesn't pull its way out. This is going to give us access to the inner workings here with relative ease. Look at that. Let's get that. I just don't break that. Okay, it looks like we'll have a grease point here. We got a grease point here we can do. Probably wouldn't hurt to grease there. This whole shaft needs to be greased. And then whatever's going on underneath, there's a shaft down there obviously that will need to be greased, and we can't see the workings of the, well, yeah, we can. I think if we take this plate off and then we take this screw off, that will give us access to this front part, so we'll be able to grease all of that too. There we go. This stuff is sewing machine oil. And like I said, there's definitely an oil point right there we can hit. This whole piece is an oil point. Yeah. Probably can oil that slightly. Wouldn't hurt, wouldn't kill that to be oiled. And this whole shaft is dry as hell. And I know that could probably be oiled, and it's, yep, it's getting easier already. This little rocker right here. Could be oiled. Clever little devices, sewing machines. This actually hits this little thing and part of the cycle and makes that happen. I don't have a clue what that is, but it's happening. Let's go ahead and get this plate off, and we'll take this off too. Gonna let me out? Okay, there we go. I don't know if really taking this screw out is necessary. Probably not. But it should take this whole front little lip off, I guess. Maybe not. Is there another screw? Whoa, there we go. Wow. It's like, what is that? Is that beeswax? Sticky, whatever it is. So it really didn't occur to me until later after looking at this, but this is obviously some kind of adhesive that some parent has put on here to keep some kid from swiveling that front door open and getting their little fingers caught in the mechanism, which probably makes sense. I doubt that, you know, was done at the factory. But you can see more about how it works. Got this bent piece of metal right here. That's the hook that comes up and, you know, has to grab the thread. It looks like it's kind of knocking on the needle right now. I wonder if that might be because the needle could be bent. But all of this obviously will have to be oiled right in here. Let's shoot some oil in this whole area. Oh yeah, that's better already. Once again, it's amazing how machines work better when they're oiled. That is way smoother. Yeah, this is a very simple machine compared to you know, real adult, I guess, sewing machines. Like I said, it's a toy. It's for a child, but very cool, man. Just, you know, I could sit here and watch this thing probably run all day. Be interesting. Probably could go ahead and fire it up now, couldn't I? I'm gonna put it on the variac and dial it up slowly, just so I can make sure it's not. I forgot the belt. The motor does work though. Let me see if I can do, like I said, a makeshift belt here. Probably just a rubber band would be fine for now. But I'm thinking this will probably work for the moment. As long as I can keep from getting oil on it, it'll work. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Watch this. You ready? You ready for this, ladies? Probably, who are all who'll be watching this, a bunch of ladies.
Ooh, with the lady.
Okay, here we go. You ready? Moment of truth. Sweet. I'm going to dial it up to 120, make sure it'll handle it. But over here we can see what the current draw and everything is. There's 120. We can see it's drawing about a half an amp of current, 35 watts of power. Yeah, 0.482 amps at 120 volts. And holy shit, that is dead on accurate. Look at that, 0.49 amps. So yeah, I think it's running exactly as it's supposed to, just like a top. Okay, anyway, we looked at a Singer model that's similar to this, a toy Singer, to try to figure out how to thread it. But apparently it goes through that little loop right there, underneath this little piece. That's a little tensioner. It goes underneath that little ring and through there, and then down through here, hopefully.